sectors, I'm telling you, if you are not passionate, and if you as a human, you're not ready, and you don't have the leadership skills, you're not going to survive. And bear in mind, a leader has to always be ready to serve. So you see me on the floor, working with my staff, cooking, cleaning glasses, serving food, because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're the owner, you need to have an emotion towards what you do, and you need to be down there working with everyone, not up there crossing your legs on a table and smoking a cigar. I don't know if you guys smoke a cigar. I don't, anyways. But so basically, leadership skills are lacking in the economy, and I've seen it in so many young people. Leadership skills, it can be taught. It's not easy, but attitude needs to change. You're going to be. I'm in charge of 45 people in my restaurant. If I don't know how to manage them. If your staff aren't happy, your business won't work. When dream works, when team works, dream works. It's known. And if you can't be a leader, nothing will work. But as you said, if somebody goes down, if he's really passionate and has a strong will, he'll get up again. I'm not even worried about people who fail, because failure tells us more about you. It undresses you, and it shows us the real you. So that's my advice.
Truly inspirational. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yeah.
What protects my idea? What will protect my idea from stealing?
Okay, now to protect your business name, to protect worldwide and regional, to protect your idea. It's in Arabic, it's called bara'at al-intikal, and you can actually hire a lawyer for these kind of things that will do all the paperwork. Even if a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm not going to do it because it's expensive and it's hard. No, there's PROs who will do everything for you. Us as a government, we will sign a non-disclosure agreement with you that we will protect you. And we will not let anyone take your idea away. But we can even connect you with copyright lawyers. And we've done that. We have some startups. We've connected them with copyright lawyers in Los Angeles, some here, and they've figured out everything for them, and they're safe. So it's very important. It might cost a lot of money, but trust me, it's a big investment on the long run. So it's worth it. So definitely we always advise people, if you have a unique idea, to always seek that legal advice. And we will provide that legal advice for you.
So I come to your panel and demonstrate.
And in the panel,
Yeah.
we all sign non-disclosure agreements. All of us, yeah, and it's all under the supervision of His Highness and everything. Even the partners, the people who are representing LinkedIn, representing Twitter, and all these people, they all sign non-disclosure agreements. So nothing. What happens there stays there. Even we take pictures. We don't take videos, and if we take videos, they have no voice, no sound, and nobody's allowed to use social media or record videos while we're there. So only pictures, and we have people there, security, and everything. So we've thought of everything, and don't worry, we've had the most amazing ideas. Even the guys we rejected, like the guy who we kicked out, I was like, guys, this is where his idea dies. Nobody talks about it anymore, and that's it. So we've thought of everything. We have a legal team that has done all the paperwork.
We are hearing that taxes are coming to the region. How do you see the impact on taxes in terms of, having people coming over to the region?
The thing is, they told us in the ministry not to talk about tax yet because it's going to be revealed. But I can tell you one thing: it's not that bad. It's not a big thing, and the change is not very big. It's not similar to taxes we see somewhere else. But it might have an effect, but not in terms of the prices of goods and all that. But not a big impact. I can't say much more. You would know more in 2017. And but I'm telling you, the country is growing, and with our vision in 2020, and with everything happening, we need to sustain the same cycle or the same solid ground that we have. And we saw that adding that small, change to it might not affect so much, but it will make things easier to sustain what we're building and all that. So yeah, don't do tax questions. Any more questions? Done? Question there.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, Sarah. Thank you very much for the presentation. Just a very small question. Any preferences for Emirati youth on those ideas that's coming up, or is just generic for everyone?
The thing is, I'll explain to you why. Are we doing, because usually when a government does, in every country, when a government supports their locals, right? So, which is every country is right and every local is right. But if I take 50 Emiratis and I put them in an incubator and I push and I prepare and I teach And I give and I do and I do. And then after 2 years, they go out to the real world, and the real world is investors from India, investors from Lebanon, investors from Syria, investors. I didn't give him a piece of the real cake. He needs to feel the competition and to mutate around it in the incubator where I'm incubating him. So I'm doing this as a favor for the locals as well, and to actually sustain a journey for the expats as well. So, but I'll tell you something, it's the amount of locals that are in the incubator are more. So it's 20% expats only. So yeah, and we're selecting the best ideas and the most innovative ones. But that treatment to tell locals, no, it's only you, I think this makes them actually weaker. Honestly, we've done studies, it makes them weaker because they feel like the government owes me this. I'll just take it. It doesn't work, it works, it's fine, I'll leave, I didn't lose anything, I have a job at the end. We want to change this attitude. No, you have to switch your button on survival mode. You need to survive. You can't depend on your job. And this is something we realize in the Arab world. We're not on survival mode because everything is in our reach. So how to make the youth switch to survival mode and to think of the business as, yes, it's something I need to survive, and not just because Muhammad opened a burger shop, I'm opening a burger shop, you know? We want to change this kind of attitude. You need to do it to survive, to have a better life, to have sustainable life, and not just depend on your job, and to actually leave your job one day and to give job opportunities to others in the future. So this is our vision of what we're doing, and this is why we're mixing the expats and the locals together. And honestly, our economy is diverse, and we need to give a chance to the expats as well, definitely. Any more questions? No, we're done? Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
So the panel discussion, we have tried to bring in the best of both the worlds, the technology side and the customer side. To spearhead the panel, we have a veteran, Mr. Venkatesh Mahadevan. May I please request him to come on the stage. Mr. Venkatesh Mahadevan has over 2 decades of progressive work experience in key positions with top Fortune 50 companies such as Motorola, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble. May I please request Mr. Venkatesh Mahadevan to come towards the stage while I welcome the other panelists. May I please welcome our first panelist, Dr. Zulekha Dor, Chairperson of Zulekha Hospitals, to please come on the stage. Our next panelist is Mr. Thomas Steele Malley, Director of Technology, GEMS Education. Mr. Muhammad Adam, Senior Information Security Officer, Al Hussein Gas. Shabat Nazar, Pre-Sales Consultant Manager, Middle East, Turkey and Africa from Riverbed. Peter Swain, Information Solutions Lead, EMEA Technology Practice from Veritas. Venkatesh, I hand the stage to you now. Thank you.
This is an extremely illuminated panel, and it's not the lights alone that's doing the trick. So we have people from all walks of life. Guess how did I get here? When Anu and Tushar, they put this whole panel together, they say, oh, we have the best people from the industry all across the GCC, let's have them on the stage, and they realize that this is too high on the intellectual quotient. We need to bring this down. So they said, okay, let's catch hold of Venki Mahadevan. So that's how they got me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely delighted and privileged to be here chairing this panel, as you may see. And before we even get into it, I really want to say something, and I request all of you to, actually you will automatically applaud. We actually have somebody in our midst who came to the UAE in 1963 and is a pioneer in many sorts. So I want us all to put our hands together for Dr. Zulekha Dor, who is really our we have people from the academia, we have people from oil and gas, we have people from Riverbed, we have people from Veritas and all of that. I'm actually not going to introduce all of them. I'm going to let them talk about themselves. But what we will try and do is actually keep this panel very focused on the areas they are in. So I will avoid, while I may ask some general questions, they'll be related to the specific areas they are in. Yeah? Is that okay? And then at the end of it, I guess we'll throw it open to the floor for any questions. Yeah? Okay, good. So we had a nice morning. We actually had Mubarak speaking about, he's hiding somewhere. So Mubarak speaking about, business continuity, moving everything to the cloud. We then had the healthcare presentation, and he left the room very quickly because he told us that 8 of us have diabetes in this room, and we were all still trying to figure out who are the 8 people. You know, I had heard some coffee table discussions happening. Is it you? Is it me? And we then had Peter present about the cost of application downtime. What was it? 1.5 to 2 million was it? And 500,000 of per application and all of that. We then had somebody tell us that, and I wish I had met you before. It was on cyber security, but guess what I took away? I should have met him earlier and taken my US passport for $5,000. Geez, I wasted my life. So, and then we had Sarah, who you actually set the floor afire. I must say this. You did a fabulous job. It's been some time since I've seen somebody with so much passion, unbelievable passion, really. Thank you very much. And I really didn't know your incubation works like this. I've been through some of these startups in India, and I spent all my life, and I come from Bangalore. So we've actually seen.
I was there doing a speech in startup.
Oh, were you there?
Startup Expo.
I was there too.
I was there.
Ah, okay. Which were, so you were there at the beginning of it then?
I was the keynote speaker.
Okay. So I last week I was there and traveling on. So you know how it is, and this is very nice. This is the first time I'm seeing some Silicon Valley. That's why we talk about it. So Mubarak is here, but I've been there too, and they tear you apart. This is the first time I'm hearing something so collaborative in nature and actually telling people come to us with an idea. Otherwise today, as we speak, I'm sure there are 50 ideas floating in this room. So it's not about which one you pick; it's about how you pick the right one. And you're so right. So thank you very much for that. So let's start with you, Doctor. I'm going to ask you a question, if I may, with a lot of humility. How has your journey been here so far? You've seen everything, so.
My journey in coming to UAE was a very different one. I was sent from some country that I have to help these people and give them medical aid. In 1963, there was no airport, no seaport, and now you ask me how did I land it here? So there was a British Air Force. They were ruling here, and I landed on a cargo plane in the British Air Force. So when I came, I was young and I did not know what will happen, but I had that thing in me that I wanted to work. So everybody said that I must be a nurse, I can't be a doctor. I don't know why was that. Anyway, that is people's perception. They did not want to work in Sharjah. Sharjah was a place God-forsaken for the people in Dubai. So, no road between Sharjah and Dubai. We just went on a desert track, following one car by the other in the night. In the day at least we could see, but in the night there were no lights. So that was my journey. There was no municipality, no police. You can imagine what was happening to me in my mind. No telephone. So we had to work from one day to another. Anything else?
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. So we are actually hyperlooped our way from Sharjah to the Sharjah today, right? So it's incredible. Thomas, I want to ask you, you are in charge of innovation and technology. So what are your plans really to, and one of his ideas, visions is to really bring education across the masses. So what's your plan really on it from a 30,000 feet to actually make sure that you permeate education across all the sectors?
That's a good question. I think there are a couple of different aspects for the wider world of education, and GEMS is pioneering in some of those fields, there's no doubt. But we talked about ideas, or last speaker talked about ideas, and I think there are a lot of ideas in education, there's a lot of ideas in educational technology, and what we really need now are good innovative processes to make sure that those ideas are actually giving birth to different mutations, as was also mentioned by our last speaker. And so I see a lot of the different innovations that we're working on in Dubai, for instance. I just came from the North American operation and starting that with GEMS Education. And we're giving catalysts that we hope provide pathways to new visions and modalities of education. And so that's one sector. The other is actually to do that same thing in the developing world, and that's really the Varkey Foundation's role with GEMS Education. And so we're seeing a good deal, groundswell of innovation in places like India and Mexico right now, in education as well. But again, providing those pathways so that they can actually scale versus just be, place-centered or in one sector. So.
Very nice. Thank you. Adam, question to you. What do you see? You must have implemented projects in the last year or so into your sector, right? And what do you see has been your single biggest challenge? Let's say, if I were to ask you to list one, what would you see as a challenge?
I would answer from two perspectives, basically. One is the technology and innovation and technology adoption, especially my field, which is oil and gas, key sector. And the other one is in the information security, which more specialized in. So for the technology, you know that what the oil and gas is going to do. Basically, we are asked to optimize, we are asked to increase the performance, automate. So basically, the technology now plays a more decisive role than before. So we are more into looking at systems that does not cost so much and does so much. So trying to do more with less, basically. From the information security, it's always challenging. So basically, we are still working the same way as before, even more harder. Implementing systems continue to counter bad guys, basically. We are more into threat intelligence when it comes to information security, and we are into more assets utilization and optimization when it comes to technology utilization. So those are the two big. Now, in terms of challenges, the costing is still a challenge, as always. The second challenge is finding the right skills in these regional markets. Those are the two key challenges.
Sharbal, I got it right? Yeah, what is the name right? So I was figuring out the pronunciation. So Sharbal is with Riverbed, and you guys are into, among other things, application performance monitoring. So are you specifically doing anything in healthcare or education that you would like to share with us, or any other recent example where you reached out to the client and actually provided a solution to that?
Yeah, so usually we will come from a red perspective, and if you look at how trends are moving forward, so everything is being run over applications. And application is simply application performance with business performance. And Sarah gave a great example about Uber, Airbnb, and if you look at what we were talking about, data security and all this stuff. So everything is being digitalized. This is how the economy is moving, because simply our behavior as a human being has changed. So if you look, everyone is dealing with smartphones. Your smartphone, you don't like the smartphone for the sake of smartphone. You like the smartphone for the applications that are running on it. And this is how, if you look at how educations and how the innovation of education is much more digital, hospitalization, the same way. So from a Riverbed perspective, what we're giving you is extending the visibility on how your infrastructure and how your business is running on IT. And this is what we're doing from a core business perspective. So we're not simply going there and selling you solutions, we're selling you the visibility that you need on how your business is running on your infrastructure to make sure that users are productive and users are able to maintain their duties and their function efficiently. Because this is how you can drive brand reputation, this is how you can drive brand protection, and this is how you can drive passion as well from work and from using efficiently your time. And one of the main examples, or which we have been able to help one of the organizations here in UAE in specific, which is much more in the oil and gas sector, one of the things they have to do is their shipping application. Every hour they spend in the port without being able to deport will cost them around 500,000 fines from regulations and costs. And this is where really loss of revenue comes in. And because the shipment is digitized and everything from processing is digitized, the infrastructure is slow and there's bottleneck in it, this is where they lose money. And this is what we need to do, enable them to become performant, application oriented, and make their business much more performant from that angle.
Peter, I'm going to ask you couple of different questions. So you have a lot of experience. I mean, you started off and have spent time in the industry now. You're kind of an evangelist at this stage. Why do you still see, and I've seen it in my career too, why do you still see organizations not spending enough on applications? And every CIO, if you ask a question, they know, yeah, we lose X $1,000 on an application downtime, but I still don't see organizations spending that dollar on saving that downtime. And why do you see that happening?
A lot of this is because of how the IT industry has grown up and the disconnect between business, or rather any organizational process, where the people who are dependent upon some IT service, they don't understand the complexity of the nature of that IT service. They don't know where it's running. As a matter of fact, many in IT don't even know what the dependencies are. As you just highlighted, having that visibility is a really challenging operation. We built IT with silos within it of itself. Some working for networks, some working for stores, some working for servers. So that communication, that setting of real life expectations from a business or from an operational perspective. What is the real impact of an incident? How does that really affect my people, the people who are actually working for me, whether it's in my hospital, performing an operation, my nurses are dependent upon x-rays or CAT scans, or I need to see the latest patient journal update. Whether it's within education, my students are dependent upon their shared services. I'm running an experiment that needs to be located, needs to be measured and metered. If I lose the results, how does that impact me? How does that impact someone else? There's the immediate impact, but then there's the long-term, or to borrow a term from the Hyperloop example, the expanded effect from a dollars and cents over risk from a time perspective. Knowing that and communicating that to IT lets us build and engineer the systems in a way that actually matches the vulnerabilities and the criticality of those services holistically. That's the biggest gap. If we can close that, and if someone builds it after that, I'll buy it.
Thank you. We all use IT systems, Doctor, and the systems we do doesn't work. CEOs helps us, users don't like us, but systems that you need or that actually help you perform better, lives are dependent on them, right? Very, very critical. What keeps you awake at night?
We have to, in the beginning, I had to depend upon myself doing everything because I did not get the personnel help. So we did everything ourselves, even seeing patients, even no records, no medical records, nothing was there. No telephone. I tell you, we could not telephone, no fax, or it was this thing. From that, we started changing. I could not phone my parents for so many years, and from that, we started changing. There were very few people. After the change came, after the Ittihad, and it was so fast, and the world was changing so fast, and we were getting all types of patients. More, they needed more care, more different cares. So we had to. I was the only one who was dealing with all the diseases. You can imagine what I was doing. Every night I had to go to people's house and deliver them. So if you say that, we had to do the house calls, and we did it because it was in a small thing. Now then it started increasing. So we had to increase our facilities. We had to take the doctors, different doctors, and different equipments. When I came, there was no antibiotic, penicillin and sulfonylureas, no equipment, no tests. We did not have oxygen in our clinic. From that, we started changing as we saw the patients, different patients. So that made us think that after we had a telephone, I we could make ourselves tailor to them. You see that we have to change ourselves. The change came, and then the different applications of IT, and we could make such a big hospital. That was only possible with the advanced technology we invited. We kept on changing everything, and after it they are, and it just, the advancement of this country just exploded. The airport, the seaport, the communication, everything started slowly, and the pace we could take up. It was not over our business. So we had to take all that advancement and we started
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Adam, back to you. What has been your joy moment in the last 1 year? Somebody came up to you and said, "Oh, you've done a great job and you are the savior. Thank you very much." Did you have one? And if you did, then what was it?
Basically, the biggest achievement of the last 12 months was the adoption of some high-level frameworks of cyber resilience, which is the Carnegie Mellon Resilience Maturity Model, CRM. That was the biggest thing, because with the adoption of that framework, we can measure ourselves to be more than discussed to the cyber resilience. So that was the work of 4 years, basically, 4 hard working years that has reached to the optimum result. So that was it.
Peter, if there was one advice you would give organizations, and it should not be a sales advice.
Yeah, no. So I would say, can I give one answer? But it's kind of 3 factors. So the adoption of cloud architectures has, and it was actually talked about during the first session this morning. The question was asked, how did you adopt legacy services in cloud? So cloud architectures are built for cloud scale. But it's not just cloud applications. It is also how those applications are supported and operated. It requires something that in the industry is called DevOps, the merger of development and operation, and a much higher velocity of deployment. Things like continuous integration and automated testing. These are capabilities that the cloud offers, whether public or private. You can actually run legacy services in the cloud, no problem. There are tools in the market, Veritas delivers many of them, that actually offer this capability of lift and shift. So as you consider this evolution in IT, which is happening very rapidly and which can have huge cost savings, particularly for addressing the requirements of application performance, burst capability,